to the chat box rather, so we can be on the same page on this. So please ask your questions relating to creativity, to AI. Yeah, this is where to ask those real life questions now, to AI, to storytelling, to spirituality, creativity, leadership, finance, and we would work together to make it happen. All right. So we have a question here from someone, and I would like us to start with this tonight. Let's have it here. All right. The first question I have here is, wow. Yes, thank you so much for that. So you could also indicate your questions in the chat box. You don't have to go all the way to the anonymous form. The link is for those that may not want us to talk about, to know who they are, right? But if you're okay with your questions, please, the chat box is open for you. Ask your questions live and direct. We have a lot of questions here. Wow. All right. We'll see the ones we could address tonight. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, okay, okay. All right. So the first question someone is asking here is, now I'm taking a bit of time to pause because once we begin asking the questions, we won't be able to backtrack on it. So please, if you know someone that should be here and is not here currently, please reach out to them. Please reach out to them. Please reach out to them. If you know someone that should be on the call that is not here, please reach out to them so they can be a part of what we're doing here tonight. All right. The first question is from, I wish I could share my screen. So I'm going to try to share my screen now so we could see the questions together and answer the questions together. Yes, but the first question here is from it's what's it called? Anonymous question, and it says, sometimes I find it hard to put my ideas into good words. So the thing is it possible to use AI to write a book? All right, based on the idea I already have, not AI generated? And if so, how can I do that? Do we get the question, please? All right, someone is asking, I find it hard to put my ideas into good words. So the thing is it possible to use AI to write a book based on the idea I already have, not AI generated? And if so, how can I do that? So I'd like us to see the question together so that we can be on the same page tonight. All right, it is still loading. But yeah, I'll begin anyway with the first question. So yeah, someone is asking that it's hard to put my ideas into good words. So it means that I know I have so much to write. I know I have so much to do, but it's difficult to express it in words, right? Now, this is a common problem writers and storytellers have. And the problem is not with you. I must start with that. It's not with you, right? It happens a lot to young people, young creatives, like in different spheres. The problem is that your mind is not finding the right use of words. Take for instance, I want to write about something vague to my mind, right? You need to understand that it's impossible to produce what you've not fed your mind, right? So if I want to write about, I did a video on this last week on Instagram, and I said, if you want to write about, let's say, for instance, astronomy, you have to know about the subject to write about the subject, right? So, and it is very important as writers, you must expose your vocabulary. You must. It's very important that you do that. It's a part of your growth process. There are some words you shouldn't use anymore as a creative writer, right? Not because you're trying to sound ambiguous, but because you can't be sounding like someone that has not gone through creative writing school before, right? So if it's difficult to express yourself in words, it could be that to a large extent you have not explored, or you have not exposed your vocabulary. This is why it's good to read books. This is why it's good to watch movies. Yeah, yeah. Because there's some things you get to learn that you may not. Now, take for instance, if you want to write a book about let's say about London, take for instance about the UK, right? This particular accents they use in speaking there, you won't find most of the words you hear there are either abbreviated. You hear your, things like that, right? Now you will not be able to change those words in your own personal material if you've not taken out time to understand the context of their language. So if you have an issue with remembering words, with expressing yourself in words, the first thing you need to do is to expose your vocabulary. Read books, go out a bit, read books, watch movies, expose, read a lot of materials on that, right? So if there's any issue with look, I know what to write, but I can't, the words are not flowing. It's because there's a cut out, you need to go back to grammar, you need to go back to English, you need to go back to expressing yourself. And this may look very simple, but it's very, very fundamental, trust me. So if you are here and you find it so difficult to express yourself in good words, now is the time to expose your vocabulary. Now, the next part of the question says that is it possible to use AI to write a book based on the idea I already have? Not AI now. So let's take, for instance, I have a book idea about a fairy tale, about a princess that was turned into a stone, something like that, and that has to, how this fairy tale, stuffs go and all that. So is it possible for me to write a book with AI that is my idea originally? Yes, it is possible, but I don't advise you do that. Now, the reason why you do not expressly leave the writing to AI is because one of the most important. Now, this is why now there's a lot of what's the word now? There's a lot of controversy in this area because people believe that AI is going to replace writers, and true, AI will replace some writers, right? But there's something about creative, soulish writing. I think I said it last year in our boot camp. That people that don't understand this will not really understand the point I'm trying to make. That when it comes to writing, you write with emotions. And this is why you read some people's books, some people's materials. I don't know if you're here, kindly indicate if you're here and you read the book, you read the material, or maybe someone was even speaking to you and you just felt like crying. You felt that emotion. It was like as if the person poured emotion on you from reading a book. Now, it's not because the person, went to learn 48 laws of power on how to make someone cry. Trust me, right here, right now. I think this happened 2022. Now, I'm trying to be very expressive because this is a Q&A session. It means you have to understand the context of every single question. So, there's a story that I like to share each time I'm to speak to young people, and it's about a woman that was killed in Kano State, true life story, in 2003. Now, I can tell you this story and nothing will change in your mind because you won't even cry. But trust me, there's a way I can tell you story right now that half of those on this call will start crying. Should we try it? Should we try it? Now, the difference between someone that will tell it, they are doing thumbs up. All right, let's see if we still have time for that. Let's go through our questions first. But there's a way you tell the story that people can literally feel the soul behind it. AI does not have emotions yet. So if you're here and you want to leave the entire writing process to AI, you have robbed your readers of feeling your creative spirit and your creative voice. Now, can AI speed up the creative process? Yes. Can AI automate proofreading? Yes. Can AI work on some chapters for you? Yes. But can you leave the entire thing to AI? No. No. Now, I'll stop here because I'm already entering my notes for our bootcamp next month. So if you want to know more about how to use AI to write effectively, register for the bootcamp. Register for the bootcamp. The bootcamp is going to be very, very, trust me, you don't want to miss this. If you've not paid for it, quickly rush now. The admins will help me post the link on the Google Meet on the chat box here. Register for AI and storytelling bootcamp. Oh, trust me, it's going to be very, 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 very fun. We'll have practical sessions about everything. You see, you learn how to prompt, would use a lot of chat box, would move from Claude AI to ChatGPT to Gemini, a lot of, and then you learn how to include your creativity, not to excuse it. Yeah. I hope I was able to address the first question. I'm sorry I took a lot of time on that. We have to quickly rush now. Now, someone asks again, I'm trying to share my screen with you so you can see the questions and it's not just all right. Okay, I think I can share my screen now. We have a lot of questions coming in from people. All right. Amazing. The questions keeps getting interesting. All right, I'm gonna share my screen now so we can all see the question. Are we still together, please? All right, thank you. Thank you, Jawura. Okay. All right, can we see my screen? All right. Okay. I think I have to zoom this in so we can see it very well. Okay. So it says sometimes I find it okay. I think we've done this question already. Next question. How can I become more creative? Now, the problem is not you getting more creative. The problem is you expressing creativity, right? So it's not how can I become more creative, it's how can I better express my creativity. How do you do that? I think that was the first lecture we had in my first session with you guys, August 10th, and we said things like avoid comparison, own up to what you do, believe in what you're doing. One of the greatest inhibitors of creativity is self-doubt and self-comparison, right? You are not your neighbor, you are not your friend, you are not the person beside you. You are you, unique in your own particular way. So please, it's important that we state this out so people can understand. And there is so much that can happen, but you must believe first in what you are doing. Believe in what you do. Own up to your talent. Talk about what you do. I tell stories. I'm an AI enthusiast. That's what I do. It's not don't shrink yourself because you're trying to no. Talk about it. Own up to what you do. You are a linguist. Talk about what you do, right? So speak about it. And yeah, so I hope that addresses that question. Let's quickly move on. All right. So we have here, as a creative, how do I channel my creativity to yield excellence? Awesome question. As a creative, how do I channel my creativity to yield excellence? Now, I'm going to maybe after this question, I'm going to call on a few of the executives here to address some of the questions, but I'm going to start with this a bit. So, quickly, how do I channel my creativity to yield excellence? Now, excellence is a culture. It's something you can learn. It's not by default. Take, for instance, there are many ways we could have held this meeting today. Many ways, many ways. We would have done a WhatsApp voice call. That is good. Take, for instance. But for the purpose of this meeting, it's not the best option. We would have done a something else, or probably we have done a different approach. But excellence is a culture you have to learn. Now, how do you channel it to yield it? Is that you keep on working on what you do. Take, for instance, when I started out in graphic design, I do graphic design, as just like a side gig, and a few times when I began my graphic design, you don't want to see my designs, trust me. You would see color riots, color combos that even if they dash you the flyer design, you won't be able to use it because it's literally it's nothing to write home about, And then I would just even me, I couldn't even say it. I wasn't bold to say it because I knew that I was not doing up to expected, but I kept doing it. I kept doing it. I kept doing it. In the days where the colors would not rhyme and someone would just give me this, a lot of drama happened, but I did not stop doing that. The first book I published, I said this a lot of times, when I'm talking about creativity and writing, that I did not know about POV. Can you imagine? And I published the book. Yeah, it was the person that preferred my book that said, oh, so you mixed POV here, you mixed this. I think it's about 4, 5 years, yeah, 4, 5 years ago now. Sorry, and the point was that I did not stop because of that mistake. I kept on writing, right? You will never again in any material I write see me make a POV mistake. If you see the name, if you see Samuel Arishe, be sure it can be from a different country. So it cannot be me, right? Because I have learned from that experience. So keep on doing what you are doing and grow in your skill. Do you write? That's the time to keep on writing. I mean, there's some people that still don't really know how to work with punctuations, how to blend in POVs together. It's fine that you don't know it now, but don't stop at that. Keep on doing what you do. Keep on doing what you do. Take for instance, I wasn't into AI last year, but now I'm an AI enthusiast, literally working with AI brands, working with a lot of people in that regard, evolving. You have to evolve eventually, but you do not stop at where you are. I think that should be able to address this question quickly because our time is fast spent. All right. So we move on now to the next question. Okay. I think I'm going to let another person address this tonight. Jemima, are you here with us, ma?
Yes, I am.
All right, ma. Could you please help us with this question?
All right. Good evening, everyone. It's lovely to see you all here today. So, the question says, how can I balance my financial goals with my creative pursuits? And, you have to first know exactly what you want. Before you can make any decision in life, you have to know what you want before you take any steps. So you know your financial goals? Do you know what creative pursuits, like what are you actually interested in doing? What are your creative pursuits? Are you a writer? Are you a singer? Are you a designer? What are you doing? And then the next thing you need to think of is how to align it. How do you align your financial goals? Because the truth is, once you have an idea, a creative idea, an interest, whatever it is, the next thing to think of is how it can bring you money. Let's be very frank and lampard in this economy. Right? So you have to find a way to monetize something that is important to you. And because the truth is, you shouldn't just work for working sake. Your work should feel like play to you. So when you have these creative pursuits, these things that, this inner creativity that brings you joy, and you can find a way to monetize it, you will find that it is actually very easy for you to balance your financial goals. Another thing I would say is separate your survival money from your dream money. Yeah. So you have to be financially disciplined, and one of the most important things is budgeting. So you cannot just say, for example, I'm an entrepreneur and I've started this, let's say, fashion business, and I sell ready-made clothes, or I sell sneakers and accessories and stuff like that. And then you gather capital probably from friends, from family, well wishers, angel investors, whoever. You gather the capital and you start the business. And then you have one something that you want to do, and then you take out money from the business to do it. And you have another something is always going to pop up. The truth is, everything demands your money in this world that we are in. You are always, always, always going to have to spend money, especially if you live in Lagos. If you live in Lagos, once you step out, in fact, you don't have to step out of your gate before you will get like 7 debit alerts. But you have to be financially disciplined. So while you are doing something that is creative, that brings you joy, that feels like play, right? And still brings in money. You have to learn how to separate your survival money from your dream money. What I would advise, pay yourself a salary from inside that thing that you're doing. Look at yourself as a staff, right? So your business money is not your money. You get what I'm trying to say? Your business money is not your money. Your business should be able to sustain itself, in the sense that whatever profit you are getting from your business should be returned back to your business. If you are a writer, for example, and you've published a book, whatever money you are getting from the proceeds of that money should go back into publishing another book. Pay yourself a salary out of it, right? But don't dip into the capital. You have to learn that financial discipline. So you budget your money, plan your finances is very, very important. And then separate your survival money from your dream money, right? Another thing is you have to be intentional with your time. So the sad reality is, especially at the beginning stage, your creativity is not going to bring in your money, that the amount that you would want anyways. Is not always going to. You might have to do some other work to sustain yourself financially until that your creative pursuit is self-sustainable and strong enough to stand and bring in the revenue that you would like, right? So you need to be intentional with your time. It's going to be very overwhelming at times. I think this is something that I can speak from experience. It almost feels like you have no time for even your creative pursuits because you're so busy chasing the money, but you have to make out time. Just as you are budgeting your money, you also have to schedule your time, right? Schedule your time so that your job, that business, that, whatever it is that you are doing to get in the money while your creative dreams take off. Make sure that it does not take so much time that you do not have time, to push your dreams out into reality. Okay. So I think those are what I would advise. First, your creativity should pay for itself. Find a way to monetize your creative pursuits. Separate your survival money from your dream money. Budget your money, plan your time, and you would find the balance that you need between your financial goals and your creative pursuits.
Hmm. Wow, wow, wow. That is very profound. Thank you so much, Jemima, for that. And I think the fact that she was so practical enough to explain that those in Lagos, the Lord help you people in Jesus' name. Amen. So we are not with you people. But yeah, it's very important, like she said again, that we inculcate the habit of budgeting because it saves a lot. It shows that you have a financial plan. Thank you so much for that, Jemima. Let's quickly move on because of our time. I have a lot of questions here. Or is this next question? All right. So quickly, someone is saying, how how can overcoming creative blocks? I think it's how can I overcome creative blocks? What are some strategies I can implement? Now, I did a post on this on the community page. So please, I think that answers this question. So you can overcome creative. I shared three things. Number one, re, reflect, right? Refresh first, refresh, take some time out, take some time out. Number two, reflect. And number three, research, right? So please check the community page. I answered this question already during the course of the week. So the video is on Instagram, it's on Facebook and LinkedIn. So please go through and you get the answer to this question. I hope that answers it. Next, we have I see so many people who are able to put their ideas into words. They are so eloquent. And I have issues with this. How do I express myself better? This is a very, very sincere question, and I love the sincerity. I see a lot of people, who are able to put their ideas into words, right? They are so eloquent. In fact, hearing them speak, it looks like you're not serious with your life at all, right? And I have issues with this. How do I express myself better? You are you. Reminds me of that song. That's Basi sang. You are you. You are go. So it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, it's not a power tussle. I'm not dragging who can speak more. The people that I've seen that talk before, and I'm like, God, I beg. This person is an orator, born orator. And me, for one, my mind speaks more than my mouth. Because sometimes when I know the answer to say, I know the exact way to put it, but sometimes I feel like, is this really worth speaking at this moment, right? So trust me, I understand what it feels like to this person that asks this question, but it's fine. It's fine for real. What can you do? Is that what are ways to go better on this? I think it was sometime last year or this year, if I'm not mistaken. I had to go to YouTube to look for TEDx talks on public speaking. You cannot overlearn, and but you can underlearn. Do you get? So how can, now that you know what the issue is, how can we make this better? So please, it's important that we get to do this. Take out time to go on, look for courses, go on YouTube. YouTube is so underrated. I was teasing my friends at work recently, and I was saying there's almost nothing you can't find on YouTube. If you search today on YouTube how to open a Gmail account, I promise you will find it. Even the littlest things, you'll find it. Search on YouTube how to wake up in the morning without waking up. Very ridiculous things. People, I mean, you find a lot of things on YouTube. So you want to know how to speak better? Go on YouTube. I mean, you can say, okay, I don't have money to pay for courses. Do YouTube plan, MTN, YouTube plan, midnight plan. Go on YouTube, watch videos, watch tutorials. It's something I still do. YouTube, and it's so amazing that once you search for these videos, the algorithm itself will begin to recommend it to you. Right? I wish I could show you my YouTube now, because I'm into 3D animations. So every single day I get down in the morning. All right, there's this new Blender add-on. There's this new software. So I just have to watch it. Do you understand? So this is how you actually work on it. So now that you know what the problem is, it's fine. Don't beat yourself. Don't go and start copying somebody and say, because this person can speak, you want to now hold the mic and talk. No, please don't try it. Don't try that. That's how it works. But take out time to grow, to evolve, and you'll find out that with time you will get better at what you do. I hope that answers this question, please. I want us to quickly move on. Let's quickly move on. All right. Next question here. Sorry. All right. Next question here. Is restlessness rooted, sorry, is restlessness rooted in purpose or companionship with relation to leadership? Hmm. This question is deeper than I'm seeing. I can understand where the person is driving towards, but let's not drive towards there. Let's drive towards the direction, you know. And I get it. Is restlessness rooted in purpose or comparison with relation to leadership? Now, I have been privileged to have a, quite some programs, in the last couple years. Last year, we held the maiden edition of a writing contest in LMU, Lamarck University. This year, we held the first of its kind in the same place. We held an AI symposium as well. We're having a meeting again. Last year, we had Creatives Virtual Bootcamp. We had people join us from Canada, from what's it called, from India. This year again we have another edition again coming up. So trust me, I can understand sometimes you just feel so restless, and I think the first thing to do is to take a pause. Take a pause. Take a pause. I, for one, once an idea comes to my mind, sometimes it's difficult to sleep. I think it was during AI symposium. Jemima, I don't know if you can remember AI symposium, when we had an issue with the flyer design. I don't know if you remember. Our designer decided to play us Connie Connie. It decided to play with our feelings. Long story. And I did not sleep that night until I finished all. I'm sure she was surprised that go and sleep. Like, go and sleep. But I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep because there was a design to do. I was restless. But now it's now good to channel the restlessness into a profitable venture. Now you are restless, but it's not profiting you. You are restless, but the energy is depleting yourself, right? So I sat down that night. I think I was awake throughout the night. I finished. If you probably saw any of the AI symposium designs that we did, I sat down with that concept. I was just reporting to the media head, Jemima, and she'll tell me, okay, arise, adjust this, adjust that, adjust this, adjust, because she was so busy during that period to even help with the graphic design. But that was me being restless. Sometimes, personally for me, sometimes it's in relation to purpose because there is something you want to do. But be careful of that thin line of trying to drag shoulder with someone. The person you're trying to compete with has his own timeline. You on your own have your own timeline. When you begin to jam, bring it together, you will wear yourself out eventually. So please and please understand timeline. When you feel that restlessness, that thing in you that feels that there's so much I want to do so much, take a pause, understand where it's coming from. I, for one, each time I was meant to launch a book today, for instance, but I had to move the launch. Yes, I felt restless, but the timing was not yet right. So I had to move the launch to October. Do you understand? So sometimes understand why you are doing what you're doing. That feeling could just be that take some time, rest, rest, rest. But once you sense comparison in your now, this is a quick tip. Our time is fast spent, sorry. This is a quick tip. If you've ever found yourself before entering the trap of comparison, the fastest way to kill it is to appreciate the person. This works like magic. Trust me. You're someone that you is around your corner that is doing something so big, and you're like, what am I doing? So appreciate the person. Send them something. It could be monetary. It could be a note of, I see what you're doing. I'm so proud of what you do. Well done, sir. Well done, ma. Thank you. Lord bless you. Sometimes pray for them. Oh, this one works. Trust me, it works. It works. It works. It works. This is how you comparison. Appreciate people. It's not easy. You may say, okay, we're having an event now. Some people have not slept in nights, right? This was not what we intend to have today. We're supposed to have a special speaker, but our speaker left the country and couldn't be with us today. We had to. This whole thing was. I had to begin to think yesterday night. I couldn't. Had to stay awake for a bit. What could we do? What could we do? You know, appreciate people. Let them know that what you're doing is inspiring. I feel so inspired by this. Support what they do. Support people. Trust me. You'd find comparison dying in your mind. All right, let's quickly run. I hope this was answered. So the point I'm trying to drive in here is that take a pause and understand where it's coming from. All right. What's the difference between saving and there's difference. Oh. There's a lot of difference. It's big. It's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. It's in between saving and investing. When you save, especially when you save, you can put, they call colo. People that are in Nigeria may get this. They call colo piggy bank. When you save, if you put 2K there, you meet your 2K there. Unless by miraculous or supernatural spirits, somebody comes to here. But you should be concerned if you drop 2K in a colo and you meet 5K there. You should be concerned. But the point is that saving is you keeping a resource, just keeping it the way it is. Although now we have some platforms that actually help creatives, like Carrywise. You save and you get returns. Piggyvest, you get returns on your savings. But investment it has more risk. I must say this. This is not forex now. This is not. Let's take forex from your mind in Jesus' name. For this question, this is investment. In stocks, in investment generally, right? And it's you just putting your money into something that will bring a return. Do you understand? So it's different from savings, and it's advisable that you have both. Save, right? And I think there's some accounts now that you call savings accounts, right? Where you could just put money there for a while, and over time it will return some yield. But investment is one of the surest way to multiply income. That is the difference. When you invest, you multiply your income. When you save, you keep resources for a particular time. I hope that answers the question. All right, let's quickly move on. I want us to finish on time. Sometimes I want to write and I have a lot going on in my head. I know how I want some things to go exactly, but can't seem to put it all together at the end of the day. I have only bits and pieces. This is why you should come for storytelling boot camp. Oh, oh. If you have not registered, register. It is going for only $2, 3,000 naira only. I understand, trust me. I've been there several times. You know what you want to write. In fact, you can already tell that in the first scene, Angela is going to die, but she will come back like Z-Word, and she would now recarnate. I mean, you know those complex storylines, right? You know what, but the problem is, right, start. That's the main thing. You should be at the boot camp. But I'll just give you a tip. I'll give you a tip. This will really help. And the tip is one of the things to do is the first step in writing is not just to pick up pen and start writing, right? Sometimes you have to sit down, and one of the things I do this. I still did this about a couple months back. If not, I think it's been a while, but I do this normally. If I want to write maybe a submission for a contest, or maybe I want to write for a gig or a freelance role, or just maybe just for fun, what I do is that the first thing I do is I draw the idea. Now by draw I mean, I think about a few years back I was writing a submission for a company. That was about 4 5 years ago now. It was about FGM, female genital mutilation, right? And the name of the main cast in that play was Shade, right? So I remember I picked up my 80 list notebook and I began to paint the name Shade, right? It's called mind mapping. Let me stop here. I don't want to enter my notes, but it's called mind mapping, right? It's when you begin to relate concepts. This is where, so writing is technical. It's not about the fact that okay, I can join adjectives and noun and verb together and form a sentence. No, it's beyond that. There's the mind mapping to it, and it's a skill that you have to learn. So for this person, I'll just tell you, first of all, be at the boot camp. You don't want to miss the boot camp, trust me. Second of all, what you have to do is mind map. Do what's called mind mapping. There's something we also call in writing. I can't touch it all because of time, right? It's called the 3 act structure. The 3 act structure. There's the first part, the middle scene, then the ending. I can't touch because of the time, right? But be at the boot camp. So in conclusion for this question, mind map, draft out what you want to write. Have it first of all drafted. Use mind mapping, use sketches, use diagrams, use pictorials, right? It's like it's like a graph, right? So when you now begin to write, you are now connecting the scenes together. I'll stop here. The rest will be discussed at the boot camp. So if you are not at the boot camp, I'm sorry, you will not get your full answer. But please, because I cannot, it's a long thing. It will take a while to explain everything, and we don't have the time tonight. All right. So how can my goals be realistic even when they are ambitious? Yeah, use the SMART acronym. Make it be specific. I mean, you have big dreams, right? But set little goals, right? Have ambitious dreams, yeah, but set little goals. The goals could be as little as, so if I want to be want to publish a book by December, maybe I should write a chapter every week. That's something realistic, right? So it may sound all right. I want to have a best-selling book. I want to take 10,000 copies. I want to make $1 million from this book. Because that's a really ambitious goal, but it won't just jump in your account, right? There are steps to take in that regard. So you have to write the book first of all. You get, so break it into simple goals. The goals shouldn't scare you. If your goals are scaring you, then the ambition itself, I mean, let it be something that you can, for that moment, you can actually start with. But then at some point, you may have to push yourself, but start with something you can actually do. Do you understand? Yeah. So quickly, I want us to run now. Our time is fast spent. I thought I'm done with the questions. One of the speakers said something about motivation. How can I maintain it long term? All right. So how do we maintain long-term motivation? Yes, one of the things you can do is to constantly reflect. So if you have heard me talk about my books before, you know that some of the books I write, it takes about 1 year to write it. Yeah, I'm not sure there's any book I've written that was about six months to 11 months to 1 year. I start January, I launch in December, so that can be a lot. And sometimes the energy can die because like you want to write this book, you want to bless lives, and by June you are like, why am I actually trusting myself? The lives I've blessed already. Why am I blessing them again? But the most important thing to note is you must keep the vision before your eyes. So what I do is before I start a book, I design the cover myself. This works for me a lot, right? So every now and then, I just pick up my phone, pick up my laptop. I can look at the design, sometimes for 1 hour, sometimes for a long time. So I just remember what did I feel the first time that thought came to mind. I keep it in a pictorial diagram, and I look at it every now and then, right? So sometimes before you get to see the cover of the book, I have done the cover, I have done the design, I've had time to think and think, but I leave something, a picture that keeps it in my mind. So for you, it may be that write a note to yourself. It may be have a part of your journal that talks about that idea, and always go back to it. Always go back to it. Someone said, "What's a graphic is like you? AI is there to help you." So be at the boot camp. Be at the boot camp. All right. In case you don't design, yeah, this is when I'm a moderator anyway, but we'll be talking about these things at the boot camp, how you could actually have visuals that would keep the fire in your heart burning. So yeah, so you're here, you want to know how to do this. It's just with a simple prompt. With a prompt, you can get a design ready. I mean, so please, this person, know what works for you. Know what works for you. I hope this was answered. Know what works for you, and keep going back to it every now and then. I think Victory, you can don't worry about any more questions. Okay, I think this last one. What are some creative ways to fund my business as an entrepreneur? I think Jemima talked about this when she was speaking earlier. Look for something that could fund your business. I mean, something else that you also do. Take for instance, someone that bakes. Okay, not bake. Let's do something creative. Someone that wants to build up a company and write. Writing could be the side gig that funds that dream. So you get, and also there are grants you could look up. I mean, everything right now is accessible online. All you have to do is just to search for it. So go ahead and search for these things. I mean, LinkedIn is also there for you. Yeah, I think sometimes in the year, maybe after this or maybe next year, I don't know, we'll have a LinkedIn optimization bootcamp. So we can teach people how to land jobs on LinkedIn, and all of things like that. You get so you need to understand that there are a lot of creative ways to fund. The whole point is that you are growing. Do you understand? So I think we'll keep that in mind against next year about we'll have a LinkedIn class. So yeah, there are many creative ways to fund your business. You have to just reflect what skills do you have currently and how can you implement that. Sorry, I'm rushing. Our time is fast spent. This should be the last question. Can the impacts of collaboration in the enhancement of creative output be emphasized? Sure. So you're asking us if the impact of collaboration in the enhancement of creative output be true, true, true. We should actually emphasize on this. Now, I would answer this question lastly from my field personally. Animation is one of the most, you can research this, is one of the most collaborative, what's it called, field in the whole world. Take for instance, I'm sure you've seen movies, and towards the end, maybe you saw only 5 casts in the movie, but when you're seeing the end credits, you are seeing one weird name that you never saw in the movie because there are a lot of people that go into that creative process. You are wondering, this person was never, you are seeing music, you are seeing producer, You are saying this, you are saying that. They never showed up in the movie, right? But it was a collaborative work, right? There are sometimes when you need to outsource creativity. I mean, creatives rather. Sometimes when you need to sincerely just, call someone. I have that idea in mind. Can you help me in this and that and this and that? Yeah, please, please. Collaboration is, and that's one of our core values in CMF, in Creative Minds Forum. SEADIC. The last C is for collaboration and creativity. So we need to work together. It's not something you can do yourself, right? So collaboration is a very integral part of the creative process. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's why I will always, tell the executives and people in CMF to reach out to us. You have ideas, you want to reach out to us, reach out to us, reach out to us. We may not be in that field, but we may know people that could be of help. Do you understand? So please, it's important that we do this. And yeah, that is so yeah, this has to be emphasized on collaboration, work with people, reach out to someone is doing what you want to start. You don't have to figure it out yourself. Reach out to someone, reach out to someone, reach out to someone. All right. I was hoping I'll finish before. Wow, I tried 7:58. All right. I want us to finish in due time. Victory, I believe I've answered all the questions on the platform. I believe I have. Yes, I have. I have. All right. All right. Any other question? I hope not. But is there anything anybody wants to add? Wants to before we call it a night? Any other question, clarification? So while we have that, we have a boot camp. Let me show the design. Let me show the design here so we could. All right, so we could see that is a serious something. All right. So we have annual boot camp. We had the other edition last year where we spoke about storytelling. This year we're taking it a bit, not a bit, a lot higher by every standard. We're talking about AI and storytelling. Trust me, you do not want to miss out. The classes will be as fun and interactive as this. We'll have sessions of brainstorming. So would so one of the things we'll do during the boot camp is that we would have a book idea in mind. We would discuss the book in class. We would finish the book before the boot camp ends. So it's going to be power packed and it's going to be so practical. All right. So please do not, if you know someone that writes but doesn't know how to go about it, if you know someone that possibly someone that wants to evolve. I mean, you shouldn't be told in these times when AI is evolving at a very alarming rate to, I mean, to be coerced to, be a part of things like this. And we have subsidized the price. It's only 3,000 naira or $2. And for those interested in getting this, we have about 100 slots. We don't want to take up to that. So we want to just get a reasonable number, but if you have more people that want to get it, why not? We're very open to that. But please share on your story, let people know about what we want to do. And yeah, the link has been sent on the platform. And yeah, we hope to see you in class, everybody, so we can be a part of what is happening, you know, September 18th to 20th. And just in case you are saying, oh, I won't be free during that period, no problem. All of the lectures will be recorded with the best audio and the best video, and it will be sent to you personally via mail or via any means you want, and would get across to you. All right. I hope we have had a wonderful time this month. Wow, it's been an amazing, amazing month. Wow, wow, wow. From the first session to the second session, the third session, the fourth session, and this is the final session of the Spirit of Creativity. Thank you all so much for your time, for your attention, for showing up. I mean, it's been, I'm very sure you have learned so much about creativity the last 1 month. You have explored a lot of things. You've seen how that comparison is a killer. You've seen how leadership is an integral role. You've seen how finance cannot be played down on, and we've had an interactive session tonight together with everyone. Thank you for being part of this, and this is where we wrap it up. Yeah, we've come to the end of Creatives Connect 2025. Yeah, the other meetings we have, next year would be rolled out across. But thank you for being a part. I'm honored to have been a convener. Thank you to the team members, all of the executives that showed up, throughout the meeting. Thanks to all of those that worked behind the scene. Thanks to all of those that were a huge part of the project. We have to wrap it up tonight here, and it's been a privilege. All right, I want to be sure of all of our names here. Thank you. Thank you, Gerald. Thank you, Philip Francis. Thank you, Glory. Thank you, Jemima. Thank you, Jawura. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Choma. Thank you, Yemi. And thank you, Victory. It's been a pleasure to be here with you guys tonight. And yeah, see you at CVB 2025. So after this meeting tonight, we are all going back to our story again, and we are all posting creative virtual bootcamp, making noise about it, because we know it's gonna be massive, it's gonna be amazing, and it will be an awesome, awesome time. Yeah, Father, we thank you for tonight. We thank you for such a month of impact, such a month of your presence, such a month of grace. Thank you for all the things we've learned in this month would be seeds that would grow in our hearts. And we will not leave meeting like this, after the bombarding throughout the month and go back and fall into comparison. But that we would nurture our creativity, we would grow better, we would grow stronger into all of the things that we need to do. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. All right. Thank you all so much. Wow, this is getting emotional because we miss everybody here. Oh wow, wow, wow. It's been an amazing, amazing time. And this is where we call the curtain.